Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm Akeem Lawson filling in for Stella Chung, and this is the Weekly Fix, the show where we round up all the gaming and entertainment headlines you may have missed this week. Now, Black Adam from Black Adam and Stripe from the Gremlins movies have been announced as new fighters in MultiVersus. Plus, we have news of more August Game Pass games. Now, in the entertainment world, which I cover, the CW has been sold and its new owners are sure it will be profitable going forward. And Ezra Miller has come out to apologize for their recent actions. Now keep on doing you, and let's jump right into it.
Both Black Adam and Stripe from Gremlins were announced with the launch of MultiVersus' first season. They will be coming to the game along with the previously announced addition of Rick and Morty. The announcement of Black Adam and Stripe were confirmed by MultiVersus' Twitter account this morning. Unfortunately, neither Black Adam, Stripe, or Rick actually have release dates yet. Only Morty has a release date so far, and he'll be coming to the game on August 23rd. Earlier last week, a roster lineup was leaked that included a number of characters such as Eleven from Stranger Things and Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. Gizmo / Stripe from Gremlins and Black Adams from DC were also on this list, so could this leaked roster be accurate? Time will tell, right? MultiVersus will have seasons that introduce new content and characters, and with Season 1 beginning today, August 15th, its first patch introduces details on upcoming new characters, Rick and Morty, arcade mode, ranked mode, and new cosmetics. Morty will be a new Bruiser class character coming to MultiVersus on August 23rd, with Rick a mage range type class with an unannounced release date. What we know about Black Adams and Stripe, we don't know what kind of class they are, so we'll probably find out later. Season 1 patch notes will come in two phases, the first starting August 15th with the second coming shortly after. The notes include changes to character attacks to allow for more consistent and successful combos, increased battle pass experience, lower requirements for Season 1 missions, and a new free character rotation. Take Arya, Batman, LeBron, or Steven for a spin, for the free character rotation starts today, August 15th, and lasts until the 30th. Also, that's a really weird way to show off a character, like, we know we have Black Adam and Stripe coming, but then we don't get them today, so could this have waited? Was this a leak? Was intentional? I don't know if this was intentional, but I guess we'll find out, right? Whenever the characters come out. Moving on, it seems a new Avatar: The Last Airbender game is coming to consoles, as various versions of it appeared on multiple Amazon Japan listings. As reported by Nintendo Everything, a Nintendo Switch version of the game has been listed on the website with a November 8 release date. Listings for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox One versions can also be found. Quest for Balance is apparently being published by Game Mill Entertainment, the company behind several Nickelodeon tie-in games such as Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and Nickelodeon Kart Racers, as well as other games like Cobra Kai, The Karate Kid Saga Continues, American Ninja Warrior Challenge, and Nerf Legends. Nothing has been officially announced for Quest for Balance, so it's likely we will get more information coming in the next couple of weeks or at Gamescom.
It's that time again when we find out what games and perks are coming to Xbox Game Pass, and this month's lineup does not disappoint. Available starting today is the coffee brewing and conversation simulator about Seattle's inhabitants, Coffee Talk. The bloody beat-em-up Midnight Fight Express will hit Game Pass when it launches on August 23rd. If you'd rather test your hacking and puzzle skills, you can do that in the programming simulation cyberpunk thriller Exapunks on the 25th. The indie interactive novel Echo of Starson also drops that day. August 30th, the Game Pass gets Immortals Phoenix Rising, Ubisoft's second most popular open-world game set in ancient Greece, as well as the remastered tactical strategy game Commandos 3, the noir horror adventure Immortality, and the Pikmin-like Tinykin. On top of free games, Game Pass Ultimate Perks members also get a Commando Rifle bundle in Halo Infinite on the 17th, as well as an MVP pack for MultiVersus and a Babylon bundle for Crossfire X on the 23rd. And finally, anyone who's been playing around with Xbox Cloud Gaming on mobile will be happy to hear that dedicated touch controls have been added for 16 more games, including Dragon Age 2, Star Wars Squadrons, and Floppy Knights. Moving on, it looks like Sony may be working on a PlayStation PC games launcher, as they left clues in a recent popular Marvel game. As reported by VGC, the PC version of Spider-Man Remastered includes files referencing a quote PlayStation PC launch, PSN account linked, and PSN linking entitlements. While it's common to see game files contain scrapped content like the Spider-Man multiplayer mode, Sony making a dedicated PC launcher seems within the realm of possibility. Sony hasn't said anything official one way or the other, but the move into PC gaming is clearly a priority rather than an afterthought. On top of putting first-party titles like Spider-Man, God of War, and Horizon Zero Dawn onto PC, the company also acquired PC port studios Nixxes. Sony does have a track record for pushing proprietary tech, and a lot of players who game on PlayStation and PC would like to earn trophies from their time doing the latter, so a dedicated PC launcher would make sense. And after teasing it earlier this month, the Fortnite Dragon Ball crossover is here, and I think it's safe to say fan hype levels are over 9,000. The crossover, which is timed perfectly to promote the new movie Dragon Ball Super Superhero, sees new skins of Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, and Beerus, along with your usual slew of cosmetics and emotes. So now you can drop out of the battle bus on a flying Nimbus and harvest materials with a power pole. A bunch of cosmetics can also be unlocked by completing Dragon Ball-centric quests as part of the limited time event, like using the Kamehameha Wave and flying Nimbus items that are scattered around the map. Players can also watch full episodes of Dragon Ball Super in-game, and a special all-new map called Dragon Ball Adventure Island will be coming this Friday.
PlayStation has announced their game catalog for PlayStation Plus for the month of August, and we have some really good games coming down the pipeline. Prepare to get your Yakuza fist ready, as 3 of its titles, Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami 1, and Yakuza Kiwami 2, will be added to PlayStation Plus starting August 16th. This is the first of a lineup of Yakuza games coming to PlayStation Plus in 2022, with the remastered versions of Yakuza 3, 4, 5, and Yakuza 6 Song of Life coming to the service later this year. Get your horror on with the 1v4 multiplayer game, Dead by Daylight, coming to the service this month. Jump into the ultimate open-world military shooter with Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. And don't forget to bring up to 3 buddies for the ride. Other titles also coming to the service are Bugsnax, Trials of Mana, Uno, Metro Exodus, and Monopoly Madness. Destiny 2 developer Bungie and cheats company Aim Junkies are currently embroiled in an ongoing legal battle, and Aim Junkies has accused the developer's actions of taking on a quote bully mentality. Last year, Bungie filed a lawsuit saying Aim Junkies violated copyright laws by producing cheats, but US District Court Judge Thomas Zilli dismissed the case, saying there wasn't enough evidence to prove any copyright infringement. Bungie reworked the accusations and filed another complaint weeks later. According to a report on Torrent Freak, Aim Junkies has denied its Destiny 2 cheats are illegal or harmful, and argues Bungie has taken on a bully mentality because it is incapable of governing its own players. Aim Junkies' parent company Phoenix Digital Group LLC issued a press release stating, "We believe Bungie and their counsel apparently believe the more you throw at the wall, the greater the possibility of something sticking with the court, no matter how ridiculous or absurd it is in the real world. Understand cheating is not illegal, and the game companies want to make it illegal because they cannot govern their own players. They are looking to the courts to do what they, Bungie, are impotent to do on their own, even with the vast resources and technologies at their disposal. They would rather suffer death by 1,000 cuts than admit this is not the way to fix the problem." Aim Junkies claims to have offered to work through the issue with Bungie, believing the feature should be implemented into the game. The cheat company is looking into retaliatory legal action, gathering evidence via a subpoena on Google, PayPal, and Valve. Aim Junkies is taking a no-nonsense approach to any sign of cheating or misleading its Destiny 2 community. Considering Bungie has 2 other lawsuits, one against cheats company Elite Boss Tech and another on an individual who issued a fake DMCA takedown on YouTubers, means Bungie is looking to take no prisoners. Nobody likes cheaters in games, but Aim Junkie raises a good point. Bungie making Destiny 2 cheating a legal issue that costs taxpayer dollars does seem like a roundabout way of dealing with players in Destiny 2, a game Bungie has full and complete control over. On a happier note, that's still probably a violation of an end-user license agreement or 2, one Elden Ring modder has been hard at work uncovering a beta version which reveals a ton of content that didn't appear in the final game.
Modder Lance McDonald streamed his findings on Twitch, showcasing different items, characters, a full debug mode, and more of Elden Ring's content that was in the game 2 months before its release. McDonald claimed he worked hard to data mine, mixing his own code to get the pre-release build to work. Among other things, he was able to use a debug camera to reveal shipwrecks out in the sea. So this sounds like somewhat literal buried treasure. To check out the entire stream for yourself, head on over to Lance McDonald's Twitch channel. It looks like despite the commercial success of recent games like Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy VII Remake, producer Naoki Yoshida laments the series is struggling to catch up with the rest of the industry. In a recent interview with Invert, Yoshida discussed his main goals of creating many different types of Final Fantasy titles to offer a wide variety for fans and new fans alike. Yoshida elaborated on this with a quote, "In terms of whether Final Fantasy is successful adapting to industry trends, I believe the series is currently struggling. We are now at a point where we receive a wide variety of requests regarding the direction of our game design. To be honest, it'd be impossible to satisfy all those requests with a single title. My current impression is that all we can really do is create multiple games and continue creating the best that we can at any given time." And that they are, as Square Enix released a plethora of titles like the 64-player online kart racer Chocobo GP and Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. With continued support of the franchise's mobile ports, the upcoming Crisis Core Remaster, and the highly anticipated releases of Final Fantasy XVI and VII Rebirth, the series may be struggling now, but it'll only be a matter of time before we're cruising Regalia style. Moving on, do you remember a time where you could get anything for less than 50 cents? Well, EA accidentally listed its FIFA 23 Ultimate Edition for less than 10 cents, and get this, it will honor the price. Reported on PC Gamer, the mistake marked down the Ultimate Edition from $99.99 to just a humble 6 cents on the Indian Epic Games Store. Though the post was quickly taken down, it was not before several people were able to purchase it and celebrate their deal on Twitter. EA then emailed each Epic Store user to admit the mistake and confirmed they would not be demanding the correct payment. Good on EA for taking the heel. FIFA 23 will be the last of its name as EA opted to not pay the $250 million price tag. The series will return in 2023 as EA Sports FC.
Season 1 of MultiVersus is here, and you'll want to read the patch notes for this season. There are some great Battle Pass system reworks and heavy balance adjustments for the character roster. Do you want the good news first or the bad news? I'll start with the bad news. Bugs Bunny was hit with a nerf to his moveset, particularly his up air ability. Velma also got a nerf in the patch notes, with pretty much all of her moves being toned down. Her weight was decreased, which makes her easier to kill, and her knowledge as power perk, giving her great health for 7 HP for 5 seconds, was reduced to 3 HP for 3 seconds. Finn's adjustments revolved around adding more whiff recovery and reworking his hitboxes. The strength of his vacuum effect on his backpack was reduced, and his ground down attack's distance now scales with how charged the attack is. This seems pretty tame, but players are definitely going to feel the difference in play. The good news is that the next batch of free rotation characters from now to August 30th will be Arya, Batman, LeBron James, and Steven Universe. Honestly, seeing that string of characters feels like a fever dream. Like, who would have expected this lineup? Rocket League had its World Championship Series in Fort Worth, Texas at the Dickies Arena, and it was a packed event. Leading up to Worlds, BDS went through a roster change early in the season and ended up earning a spot at Worlds as the second seed out of Europe. It seems that BDS had made the roster change up for the better and solidified their team as they won 4-1 over G2 Esports and took home the World Champion title. BDS not only beat out G2 for the title, but also Furia and Moist Esports. Along with the trophy, Seiku of BDS was awarded the MVP of the event, and his teammate Monkey Moon was given the defensive MVP. G2 wasn't completely out of the award standing, as their player Chicago was titled the offensive MVP. After seeing BDS have a dominating run in Europe, this win was well deserved. Congratulations to BDS, and we can't wait to see what they do next.
Now it's time to take a very quick break, but when we come back, a sequel to The Batman has been announced to not have been greenlit yet, and we have some updates regarding the recent sale of the CW channel. We'll see you in a bit. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Now, Ezra Miller has publicly apologized for their recent actions that have taken the news by storm. But before we get to that, Nexstar Media is set to acquire the majority share of the CW. Now, the company thinks that with cheaper shows, it will become very profitable. Well, let's find out more from me. The CW is currently transitioning to new ownership, with Nexstar Media Group set to take a 75% stake in the company, leaving Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery holding 12.5%. Now, this new transaction is set to close in the next few weeks, with Nexstar CEO and CFO speaking on a conference call to answer questions and explain their rationale for the new direction for the flailing bargain bin network. Now, they claim the company will be profitable by 2025. Bit of a ways away. Now, some of what they said wasn't surprising, kicking it off by saying, quote, "It's no secret that the CW is not profitable." Going on to say, quote, "We expect to invest a low 9-figure amount over this 3-year period as we implement our plan. We view this amount as a proxy for a purchase price or an investment made over time rather than an ongoing drag on cash flow. You know us. We are profit and cash flow focused and expect this asset to achieve profitability." Now, first off, I don't think we really know you, but we do know the CW. And while it's true the network hasn't been profitable in quite some time, lowering the budget of what on the surface already appears to be budgeted shows might not be the way to go. I mean, just look at this scene here from The Flash. It looks like the early CGI renderings of She-Hulk. I've literally seen PS3 games with better graphics. Or this scene where the Flash friends took on King Shark by just standing around. They actually decided to use words to calm down the man-eating villain.
I think it's working.
I think you're right.
No, I think you're wrong. We're expecting to see some action and excitement. I've never seen a group of superheroes do so much standing around in the face of imminent danger. Anyways, Nexstar's focus is on retooling the CW by firstly focusing on the cost structure the network had under CBS and Warner Brothers. Whether or not that'll net them a profit come 2025 remains to be seen, but for now, they still have a partnership with WB and CBS through 2023, so maybe we'll see them squeeze more DC duds in the future. But honestly, you never know. They might score a DC dub. Only time will tell. All right, now in other news, check out this post from The Boys showrunner Eric Kripke teasing the start of filming for season 4. Now, it's not much, but that "oi" followed by the slew of hashtags is enough to get us excited that filming is soon to kick off, with him boarding a flight to Toronto, Canada. Now, as a bonus, The Boys' official Twitter handle tweeted out, quote, "Just some people flying, nothing else to see here," with a few of the cast members setting off for who knows what. But we actually do know what, and we honestly can't wait to see what The Boys Season 4 is all about. Ezra Miller recently issued an apology for all the indiscretions as of late in a statement provided to Variety. Now, in it, the actor said, quote, "Having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I now understand that I am suffering complex mental health issues and have begun ongoing treatment. I want to apologize to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behavior. I am committed to doing the necessary work to get back to a healthy, safe, and productive stage in my life." Now, most recently, Miller was charged with felony burglary in Vermont, with police discovering the actor was involved in an incident involving stolen alcohol bottles from a private residence. Now, that's not nearly the weirdest scandal the embattled actor has faced. Ezra Miller was accused of several assaults in Hawaii, alleged grooming of a minor, and supposedly harboring a woman and her 3 children. Now, the actor said in the statement provided to Variety that the work needed to get back to a healthy mental and productive state will be done, so hopefully Ezra can turn things around. But it could also be speculated that maybe this is a move to somehow save the Flash movie from being completely nixed by WB. Now, with the upcoming DCEU movie being touted as rewriting the DC universe and moving it in a new direction, the last thing Warner Brothers wants to do at this stage in the game is shelve it due to the indiscretions of the lead actor. Not sure if either are related to one another, but it is interesting to see Ezra Miller own up to the displayed behavior and apologize. As fans of the franchise, all we really want is for these movies to be released and not become lost media. And we'll keep following the good and the bad with this particular story. Now, in other news, we got the Lord of the Rings of Power episode release schedule for you. Now, the EPs will launch at the very same time around the world, with fans of the franchise experiencing it seemingly at the very same time, as long as you're not already asleep in bed. Now, the Rings of Power will premiere with 2 episodes, with weekly episodes to follow, all rolling out on a weekly basis, to the finale kicking off on October 14th. Now, you'll be able to start watching the 8-episode run of The Lord of the Rings of Power beginning September 1st or the 2nd, depending on your time zones, only on Prime Video.
You'd think a sequel to The Batman would be inevitable after it raked in $750 million and was a hit with fans and critics alike, but somehow WB hasn't yet given Matt Reeves and company the go-ahead to start production on The Dark Knight's next big screen outing. The future of DC films is a bit shaky right now, and Warner Bros. Discovery recently made headlines by canning the all-but-finished Batgirl film amidst rumblings of figuring a new 10-year plan for its superhero slate. But according to Variety, The Batman 2 has not been officially greenlit, so assuming it does happen, it's at the very least a few years off. Given the first film's success, a follow-up has seemingly been in development, with both Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson on board to return. At one point, the plan was to expand the universe through original HBO Max shows, with one focus on Colin Farrell as the Penguin and another about the Gotham City Police Department. The last we heard, production on the Penguin show was supposed to ramp up this summer for a 2023 release, but the GCPD show seemingly went back to the drawing board, with Matt Reeves explaining it was being redeveloped as a show about Arkham Asylum. That said, if a sequel to the Batman movie isn't a sure thing, and WB Discovery seemingly retooling its approach to HBO Max, take all that with a grain of salt. The Batman was awesome, so I really hope we get a sequel. And hey, if you haven't seen it, go check it out on HBO Max before they decide to delete it from the platform as a tax write-off or something. Moving on, The Batman 2 might not be a sure thing, but a sequel to Todd Phillips' Joker film is officially underway. And crime might not pay, but movies about the clown prince of it apparently do. The second film will apparently have triple the budget of the first one. Variety reports that the sequel, officially titled Joker Fully Adieu, will see its star Joaquin Phoenix bringing home a $20 million paycheck for the role. Lady Gaga, who will be co-starring as Harley Quinn, is supposedly getting $10 million. The first film was budgeted around $50 million, that's already quite a bump, and we've heard the sequel will feature musical numbers, which will presumably be a bit more costly than filming Phoenix canning down a flight of stairs to a Gary Glitter song. Fully Adieu is slated for an October 2024 release date, and we'll keep you posted on whatever we hear about it next. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the world of superhero cinema, not a week goes by without someone famous giving a hot take on the Marvel Cinematic Universe that whips the internet into a frenzy, and this week is no different. But this time around, it's an MCU star throwing shade at a different cinematic universe. Mark Ruffalo is making the rounds to promote the Disney Plus She-Hulk show. In an interview with Metro, he was asked if he had any concerns about there being too much Marvel content. Rather than flying into a rage, turning green, and smashing car, Ruffalo said he wasn't worried about it, explaining that Marvel gives directors and actors a lot of space to be creative within the MCU. This would have been a nice diplomatic answer, and then he added, quote, "If you watch a Star Wars, you're pretty much going to get the same version of Star Wars each time. It might have a little bit of humor, it might have a little bit of different animation, but you're always really in that same kind of world. But with Marvel, you can have a whole different feeling, even within the Marvel universe." Shots fired! Unsurprisingly, Ruffalo ruffled some feathers among Star Wars fans and MCU critics alike. But it does raise some interesting questions. Disney would undoubtedly love to put out as many Star Wars shows and movies as it does Marvel ones, but there is a slightly stricter style guide. She-Hulk premieres next week on Disney+, and if a sitcom about a superhero lawyer isn't for you, it's followed shortly thereafter by Andor, which looks to be the Star Wars take on a spy thriller.
All right, now if you clicked on this video, chances are you're a Tom Cruise fan. Now even more, you're a Top Gun fan. Or you just love fast-moving jet planes, in which case you should definitely be looking forward to next week as it marks the home release of Top Gun Maverick. Now, starting August 23rd, you can own it on digital with physical 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray arriving November 1st. Now, August 24th and November 2nd, respectively, for those in Australia. Now, according to Collider, the home release of Top Gun Maverick will pack in nearly 2 hours worth of bonus content with special features that'll include a look at the cast's flight training programs, Tom Cruise piloting a vintage Mustang, and a Q&A session the famed actor did at the Cannes Film Festival. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, as you can expect much more when digital lands next week, with the physical copies coming sometime in November. Definitely worth a watch to see why it's Tom Cruise's most successful movie to date. Now, in other news, you gotta check out this Rick and Morty Season 6 teaser Adult Swim just dropped. Now, the newest trailer, Wormageddon Journey to Earth, gives us small clues into what Rick, Morty, and family could be facing. And while we don't know much based on this teaser, there is a countdown to Wormageddon on the Rick and Morty website, and we learned previously about a hidden secret within the Citadel, but what is it? Now, we'll definitely find out more once that countdown runs out, but all will be revealed soon when Rick and Morty Season 6 premieres September 4th. I'm Akeem filling in for Stella Chung, and that was your weekly fix. And we'll be back next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. We'll see you then.